What up, folkers? Just gonna do a quick retrospective on the most recent leagues. I think this is League 6 here, and gonna go over some of the things that I accomplished, some of the things that I wish I would have, yada yada. Go over some of the things I chose, and whether or not I thought that was the right play to make, and some things for posterity, so that I can go back and look at this and remind myself certain things in preparation for future leagues. So here's my skills. I probably could have maxed if I really pushed for it. I had a lot of stuff banked up that I was planning on using to max, but I never quite got there. We'll go to this, just looking at the task completed and total points. Obviously, I got the rune rank for the second time in a row. I think I've honestly had this for 3 weeks, maybe more, maybe 4 weeks. So I definitely could have pushed for Dragon. I was pretty burnt out by the time that I got that far, which really stinks because I had a lot of things that I did early on to set me up to be able to knock down easier later on, but just never quite got around to that. Just got burnt out of playing Taskman, which, it's part of what Leagues is, so I wouldn't say I necessarily did anything too spectacular tasks wise. I was really just knocking down stuff that was AFK, or like when I was actively playing, I was doing more of the harder PVM stuff, or like quests and things like that. So for packs, I ended up settling on the classic Water Thorns build for this leagues. It was honestly just too strong and too AFK to not do it with how I was playing, how I wanted to play. I started out going the crossbow, the wilderness crossbow, the King's Barrage build, and this just felt way better than that. So I went, I suppose my areas are kind of an important aspect of this too. I did go, obviously started with Varlamore. I did go Kandarin, Wilderness, Karamja, Kandarin Wilderness, Desert. And for like having all the bosses and stuff in the wilderness, Water Thorns was just way too good. And especially with having Kandarin, I had the quadrant, which is awesome. And there you can see some of the items that I have from my journey. I pretty much got all of the big stuff that I needed to, like for tasks wise. I got the Infernal Cape. I got plenty of Fire Capes. I traded them all in for Jad rolls, quiver, stuff like that. So obviously I got the piece of the Echo boss items, and let's see, what else can I get into here? So I guess once I got burned out, I pretty much pivoted to pet hunting, especially since I had like wilderness and stuff like that. I actually ended up getting 6 pets this leagues, which is pretty cool. It's one of the few things that carries over. I already have like the bank space from previous leagues, so thought that was pretty cool. I think that before this leagues, I had 6 pets from previous leagues. So I had the Abyssal Orphan, the Skotos, Omelet, the Mining Pet, Rocky, and Scurry before from all the other leagues previously. So I doubled my pet, how many pets I had in this leagues, which is pretty cool. Tried pretty hard to get Jad. That didn't really work out. I can show you some of the... I got super unlucky on some. Like for the fishing pet, I literally went 5 hours past 200 mil XP to get the heron. But for... let's look at... so Callisto, I got this one pretty... I got spooned at RDO for the Callisto Cub. Chaos Elemental, I think I went like double drop rate maybe for this, something around that. The Cowfight Queen, I got spooned on that one. The King Black Dragon, I did not get spooned. I think I went almost triple drop rate ish for that one. So that one took quite a while. Scorpia, about half of drop rate, so little spooned on that. But the one that I've been working on is Venonadus and Spindle, and I'm almost at rate. I guess with the Venonadus kills, I'm slightly over rate on that. So, but I don't think I'll be doing that anymore. This is the eve of turning over. So some things I would do differently if I could. And this is the part where I need to remind myself to come back and listen to this in the future. But I honestly think that I'm done doing raid areas for a while. There's just so much like tied up in the raids, and I took desert last because my plan was to just raid at the end. But and this kind of goes with the build, like Water Thorns made so much content basically meaningless, and most people were just soloing TOA, or like it just was so slow. But there was no reason to do it any faster, and I guess to me, or to like waste a packed reset to do it faster than just reset back to Water Thorns to go back to AF Kane. So I probably could have finagled with my build a little bit more just to make it easier to do that. Take a point in like melee or something like that. But I had a really hard time finishing out these last 3 packs. Awakened, Leviathan, and Vardorvus can kiss my butt. And then just didn't get lucky with the drops with some of the other drops, like the Void Waker Blade pieces early enough to like make it worth it. So I think that's really about it for areas. I really enjoyed Kandrin and Wilderness, and Varlamore was a really cool starting area. But by the time I was like doing the bosses there, I honestly didn't really care too much for them. I mean, I was just like on to doing Wilderness bosses or Kandrin bosses and stuff like that. So like some of the Echo bosses, other than Amoxyotl. So I like hardly did Moons at all. Maybe I should have stayed there a little bit longer, but that was one of the things I was planning on finishing out towards the end, and I just had enough. But yeah, I think I want to take a break from raid areas. Obviously, if the next starting area is one of the raid areas, that's fine, but I think I would have really enjoyed taking like Fremennik or Asgarnia instead of Desert, or even like Tiranwin, just because it's more solo content. And yeah, so relics, I went with this build: Endless Harvest, Woodsman, Evil Eye, Conniving Clues, Nature's Accord, Eternal Sustenance, and Culling Spree. I actually took Culling Spree first and then reloaded into Eternal Sustenance, which really helped with some of the PVM challenges and stuff that I wasn't too familiar with, although I don't know if I really need it. I definitely didn't need this for what I was doing at the end, but it was helpful for other parts when I was actually like chugging sharks and stuff to beat, triple Jad and stuff like that. And then the minion was fantastic. So I actually don't hate any of my choices here. I think that they did a good job of balancing this, especially like the early 2 tiers were pretty well balanced. As long as you were trying to cover for things, down the line, I think it would have been all right, no matter what you did. Evil Eye was really fun. The other ones would have been fine too for what you're doing. Reminder for myself: never take a clue relic again. I don't like doing clues. They definitely nerfed how many points there were for clues in this one compared to the last one, which is good. I don't want to feel like I have to take a clue relic to do clues, but man, I just don't like doing clues. Nothing burns me out faster than doing clues for points. So remind yourself: no more clue relics. No more clue relics. Either of these would have been fine. The Transmute or the Butler's Bell, either of those would have been fine. And I was so mad at myself for taking the clues that when I reloaded, I did not want to reload into either of those at that point in time. So, Nature's Accord was alright. Probably would have gotten more use out of Larcenist. But I already had the Rocky Pet, so I wasn't too interested in that. And Soul Harvest did not really appeal to me too much since I was going Wilderness. The Wilderness Chaos Altar was perfectly fine for what I was doing. Culling Spree was alright. I felt like it was pretty annoying to just waste time trying to cycle through tasks to get the one you wanted anyways. And you pretty much always had enough points to get something that you wanted for the most part, so it seemed like unnecessary steps, but whatever. I definitely was never going to take the Grimoire. Eternal Sustenance was really good. I don't know what I would do over. There's a lot of choices with that. Reloaded's cool. It lets you obviously make up for a choice you made in the past, but I would have liked to see Reloaded be kind of more towards a final tier. That way you can kind of know how the last tier is going to play out, but I don't mind it so much here. But it really shouldn't. I don't think you should put Reloaded up against anything else. Reloaded should just be its own thing. At the very end, you get one other thing that you have a choice of, and have Flow State be against something else. Flow State could have been against Soul Harvest, and that would have been fine. Maybe not in this order, but whatever. You kind of get what I mean. Minion was fantastic. I would always take this minion again if it was offered. Just being able to AFK and have it pick stuff up for you and be some extra DPS was chef's kiss. These other ones would look cool too, but for what I was doing, kind of what my goals were for in-game, minion was better. Yeah, I think that's really about it. I know that I probably pretty easily could have pushed a dragon, but I was just burnt out at that time. So maybe next leagues. I think Rune is acceptable. I just kind of pivoted towards going for pets instead of going for Dragon Cup. I don't have the time to really do both, so yeah, there you go. I think that's about all I got for this. I don't know if this is adding up previous leagues or not, but 17 days, 15 hours, probably just on this leagues would honestly be right. But yeah, I can't think of anything else that I really want to show. Here's some other datas for myself to look through if I ever want to in the future. And yeah, I think that's it. Until next time.